Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Sabikui Bisco, episode 12, the finale of the series, the finale of the season. Uh, I don't know what kind of expectations to have, honestly. It's been treating us fairly well, so I don't think the finale will be particularly bad or anything like that. I have full expectations that it will actually be good, but just how good? Well, that still does remain the question. Yeah, I had to double check if it's really episode 12, and it is. Right. In the last episode, quantitatively not much happened because the last episode was essentially just Milo fighting against Kurokawa. And yeah, that was essentially it. Milo and the tiny people fighting against Kurokawa. Later, also Pau and her squad joined. Also, what's her face? Tirol also appeared to help. And in the end, even Bisco came back. Just crawled out of Kurokawa's back with a glowing hand and half naked. Because, sure. And that's where the episode ended. Yeah, I don't have any better description of what happened in the last episode. It was just a fight with Kurokawa, all our friends getting in one place, helping fight Kurokawa, and eventually Bisco returning. That's the summary of the last episode, and this is gonna be a very short intro. We're only like 2 minutes in, but I'm already out of things to talk about, so let's just start it, right? I'm gonna give you guys subs. I'm gonna get myself some sound and my cable some slack. And yeah, okay, we're starting with the OP, it seems. Right. So, we're gonna be starting episode 12, the finale of Sabikui Bisco, version by Sabs, please, in 3, 2, 1, go. And this is just Earl Grey with lemon. I always have trouble pronouncing Earl Grey. I don't know why. It's my favorite tea, and I get all tongue twisted whenever I try to spell its name. Not spell, pronounce its name. Should I don't know, miss out on one of the L's, like Earl Grey? Maybe that's a more proper pronunciation of it. I'm not sure. You guys, let me know in the comments. uh, I can't believe another season is coming to an end. Soon enough, probably on the 9th or so, I'm gonna host a live stream where we're gonna take a look back at this current season of anime. We're gonna take a look at what's gonna be coming out next season. We're gonna pick a new lineup. So if you're interested in that, subscribe, get notified. I'm gonna schedule the stream at least a day before it airs, so that you have the time to, I don't know, prepare or something. And you can always watch the VOD. That's no biggie. Okay, Bisco's perspective. He's entirely rusted and now entirely unrusted. And he really did wake up because Milo called out to him. Huh. I thought it was mostly a metaphor, but no. And now he's all glowing. Literally. How did he cut off Tetsujin's arm, though? Bisco never uses a blade, a sword, or something. Yeah, he kinda is, not gonna lie. And his arm is no longer glowing. Oh. The music kicks in. The Mushroom God. That's a lot of Rust Eater. You have a mushroom arm. You're a mushroom, Bisco. Huh? You're just dead weight. But sure, I guess. That was a. I'm gonna have to take a look at that animation again. I guess? How did you come to that conclusion, though? You're the brain, I'm the muscle. I guess it's a good enough of an explanation, but how did Milo figure it out? Let him transform fully. Wait. Give him time. Why, though? Right, she read the user manual. Yeah. Rust Eater Shield. All the rust. Heart, blood vessels? Kurokawa's soul, perhaps his body, his brain? Kurokawa. Yep. Sounds simple enough. Give her a bite of the rust eater. There's plenty of it around. Give her the rust eater. Kiss her and pass on your spores. An engagement ring? You don't know what you're getting into, Bisco. There we go. She doesn't wait. She takes what she wants and she takes it now. Oh, that's not the reward yet. And he keeps selling her. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they are kinda perfect for each other. Let me guess, this kiss is gonna save Pau's life because now the spores of Rust Eater are also cursing within her. Another kiss? Ah, you fucking tsundere, you. Nyoho? I love Jabi's those random voice lines of Jabi. Yosha Nyoho and all those. I love it. I love Jabi. I really do. I guess I guess Bisco is essentially a mushroom deity. You're gonna be handling a different pole soon enough. Oh, it's a parachute room. It's a parachute room. I thought Bisco is only able to use uh, Rust Eaters now, but now he was able to use a parachute room. Huh? Random bullshit go! Why? Okay, yeah, I guess in that regard they are the same. Okay, he just threw his hand. Ah, right. He's blinded, but Milo isn't. You release the arrow and I will be your eyes. Yeah, we've seen it in the preview of the last episode. I'll be your eyes, of course. Cheesy, but also cool as fuck. And there it goes. That's a lot of Rust Eater. And there we go. Akutagawa is no more. Everyone's alive. There's Rust Eater galore, enough to cure everybody in the entire fucking world. Yeah. Hey, the other eye. Yeah, thanks to the kiss. Ah, they're just laying there, resting. And you share the same feelings for Bisco. Yeah, and you have an infinite supply of it. Kiss? No, just a lap pillow. We're only 16 minutes in. We still have at least 6 more minutes. I guess we're gonna see a montage of them curing everybody in Imihama now. In Imihama and beyond. Oh, she's gonna make a fortune. Brand new panda clinic. Hey, those two are still alive. Is Bisco visiting? Oh no, their parents. A parallel to the beginning? Okay, Poe is the new governor. That was predictable. Bisco? Bisco. Bisco and Poe and Milo? Man-eating panda? What? Why? Why is he wanted though? Okay, but who's spreading those wanted posters though? Oh, okay, he's watering the huge mushroom that Bisco created at the beginning of the series. It's not a bribe, it's just a gift. Yep. Akutagawa? Akutagawa. So? Okay, so now they're just traveling the world and helping people? Grabbing a photo for posterity. Next time they're passing by, he's gonna ask for an autograph. Oh, so instead of shaving, he has to keep picking shiitake off his face, I guess. Because we are together. Yep. That's a good ending. And that's a new ending. With music from the show itself. It's not the ending music. Yeah. Okay. That was genuinely great. I guess the next arc of the story is about Bisco trying to regain his humanity. Long eyelashes are a curse, I tell you. They're supposed to protect your eye and they do anything but. That was an ending conclusive enough for me to still find it hard that the source material continues beyond it, honestly. There we go. I was kinda hoping for. Oh, okay, after credits scene. Framed picture of the heroes. I was kinda hoping for an announcement of season 2 right after the credits, but alas, maybe eventually, but not yet. Not quite yet. Okay, let's go through this episode again, shall we? And yeah, let's just let's just let's simply OP. Kind of sad we didn't get to see those flying whales. That's a really cool sight. Oh, there's another Tetsujin. That's another thing we have. Or is it the Tetsujin in the village of those kids? I'm not sure. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense to analyze the OP. Yeah, it was literally Milo calling out to Bisco that got him out of his rusted state, I guess. Yeah, I heard you from the precipice of the next world. And Bisco is, with his new hand, he is extremely powerful. Just look at the amount of mushrooms. Whenever Milo would shoot the Tetsujin, there would be just like a single mushroom growing on it. But one arrow from Bisco, and there's an entire group, entire cluster all around the Tetsujin. But there's one thing, not here, earlier. Yeah, the arm. How did the Tetsujin lose its arm? Like, we know, or at least we can assume that Bisco did it, but Bisco doesn't really use blades. Sure, he has a knife on his belt. Does he? Yeah, he does, but it's just a regular short Bowie knife. I guess we have to go by anime rules here, by the rule of cool, and he was able to slice off its arm with just a Bowie knife. I guess, maybe, empowered by the Rust Eater or something. He's come back as a god. He's here to kick ass and chew gum, and he's all out of gum. Cut the Tetsujin in half. No matter what arrow I shoot, the Rust Eater grows. That's an interesting tidbit, seeing how later he shoots an arrow and a parachute mushroom grows. Not the Rust Eater. A little bit of inconsistency there, but sure, whatever. Rule of cool and the like. But tell me, guys, if you know the source material, did it happen in the source material as well? Just a random parachute shroom, or can Bisco control what mushrooms he grows after all? Maybe he just had to get used to his newfound power. Things coming off you are spores, which means right now you're practically a mushroom. Uh, okay, I guess that's fine. Right now, your blood is probably half human, half rust eater. It's because you got drenched in the pipe snake's poison. The rust eater spores got into your body and mixed with your mushroom keeper blood, which activated them and turned you into an active rust eater. Okay, yeah, they were chomped down on the pipe snake, but I guess it is an explanation. The pipe snake creates the rust eater, and the mushroom keeper blood activates the rust eater. So if Bisco somehow got injected with a lot of pipe snake spores, his blood activated the rust eater, but how exactly did it revive him? Mushrooms aren't exactly alive. Did it just cleanse him of rust? Sure, but why didn't it happen earlier? Why did he even rust if rust eater spores were coursing through his veins? What's the deal with the arm? That's another thing. Is rust eater sentient and able to recreate body parts, or and don't get me wrong, I'm fine just accepting it at face value, right? The magic mushroom was able to recreate your arm, and you are now part mushroom, part human. Cool, cool. But how did Milo figure it out? Rusty spores got into your body and mixed with your mushroom keeper blood when you got drenched in the pipe snake's poison. But what? How did you figure out that pipe snake has poison? From what we know, it's just the pipe snake carcass that grows mushrooms, that grows rust eater. We don't even know that it has any sort of poison or venom, should be more apt. Perhaps it's just adaptation woes, as usual. I'm not gonna focus on it too much. What I do want to focus on, well, not focus on, but take note of, is this little funny jump. Frame, 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 frame. They're on. It happened so quickly. It just looked funny and stupid, honestly. And okay, they dropped in from up top. Ah, okay. I see what's going on here. I see what's going on. I was under the impression that they kind of jumped in almost almost horizontally, just did a little hop right above Akutagawa's carapace, and that's because there's this puff of smoke to the left, puff of dust to the left, and then there is Bisco's form, and there is no puff of smoke to the left. So it kinda, and Bisco's leg here is at the very top, and it's dark on the dark sky background. So it kind of looked like from the left the puff of smoke turned into Bisco. So it looks like the movement was horizontal, right? From the bottom, kind of at an angle, but mostly horizontal. Yeah, that's what it looked like. Meanwhile, it was vertical from top to bottom. Okay, yeah. Now I see why it looked odd to me. Uh, don't shoot. The self-destruction is gonna blow up the entire Tokyo. So we have to split its mask and just shoot Kurokawa. The detonation triggers the pilot's brain. That's interesting. I was wondering how the Tetsujin exactly work. Are they essentially possessed by the souls of people? Or their consciousness somehow transfers into it, or what have you? No, the pilot just merges with it, just becomes a pimple on the forehead of the Tetsujin, and that's how the pilot is able to control it. That exoskeleton is designed to protect the connection to its operator. Yeah, okay. Just shoot the pilot in the head. Of course, Poe is the first one to offer herself. If you make it back alive, I'll give you anything you want. Well, Bisco, you might be immortal by now, but a broken pelvis still hurts. So, you were probably a bit too hasty about it. That's an advance. That's not the reward, Bisco. I'm gonna leave it in your mind what the reward will be. And I'm gonna spoil you a little bit. My brother will be there. I love how Milo keeps selling Pau to Bisco. Oh, she'll make a great wife. She's very passionate and well mannered. You both are, so you're perfect for each other. He really wants to keep Bisco close by just marrying him off to his sister. I think that's it. He wants to just live the three of them living in a house and fucking each other in a triangle. Blushing Tyrell is cute as always. I just helped myself to the tongue of a living god. What a fucking line. What a great line. I love Jabi. I keep repeating it, but I love Jabi. I love his random noises. I love his voice actor. I love his demeanor. Yeah, that's split open. Who's filming it? That's one other question I have. Who the fuck is filming it? Instead of just running, someone's staying there, probably hovering some chopper and filming it. Of course, random explosive lasers. You and I are the same. That's a very random line. I wanted to say for a moment that I guess you could stretch it kinda, and you could say that Bisco is now a being of mushrooms, and Kurakawa is now a being of rust, so they aren't human, they are the same, but no. He's just like, yeah, I'm just like you in that I refuse to die. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Blinded by the rust. How though? Bisco is the embodiment of a rust eater. How did Kurakawa even blind him with it? It should just immediately dissolve off his face. But I guess it would rob us of this very nice moment of I will be your eyes. Kurakawa being dead, Rust Eater comes in. I love the idea of Tetsujin. I perhaps repeated it even before now, but it bears repeating again. I love the idea of Tetsujin as a technological, metallic, steel skeleton, endoskeleton, not exoskeleton, that's surrounded by goop, just, random goop, which makes up its body. I don't think I've ever seen a similar idea to that, and it's a pity because I love it. I love the idea of a mechanical skeleton being surrounded by organic or inorganic fluid, substance, goop, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, Kurakawa dies, Tetsujin dies, a lot of Rust Eater. And they're having a little bit of a tender moment. I can hear your heart, don't ever leave me again. And Hiro is so stoked about it. She's gonna make cash money from all this Rust Eater. Question is, can she refine it into the actual drug? Or is Rust Eater like itself also a cure for rust? You bite a piece of it and you're cured of rust, but then why would Milo turn it into injections? I like how many threads are being closed here. This dude with his son, they will now be free of rust. All the people, all of the parents are coming back to their children. Why are Bisco's wanted posters still up though? That's something I. Okay, oh, right, it's probably the Japanese government itself. I didn't notice what's written here in the top right corner declares independence from the Japanese government. Nekoyanagi Pau declares independence from the Japanese government, denounces the persecution of mushroom keepers. Okay, I get it. The mushroom keepers are persecuted not by Imihama itself, but by the government because of all the stuff that Imihama governor Kurakawa spread. It's a nationwide issue, not just Imihama wide. So it makes sense that there will be wanted posters after Bisco. Doesn't make sense there would be wanted posters after Milo. Not quite. I wonder why. Perhaps other areas are also onto the same bullshit that Kurakawa was. They're essentially Kurakawa's friends and buddies, and it's gonna take a little bit more time to root it out. Jabi, of course, stayed with Pau as the Mushroom Keeper advisor. Those are some amazing costumes. Especially the beard and the turban, or however you pronounce it. Akaboshi Bisco man eating red cap, wanted mushroom terrorist. He's 17. Okay. 5 million soul reward. And Panda, wanted. He's also 17. Nekoyanagi Milo, panda-like birthmark around the left eye. You say he's a man-eating doctor who eats his patients, of course. Everybody is a man-eater. And of course nobody believes it, at least not anybody in the area. Might look like the kind of guy who'd eat people, but I don't think he's a bad guy either. I love how this kid just grabs a camera instead of notifying the authorities or whatever. It just wants a photo of the heroes. Bisco wants to fix his body. And the photo, and the end. That was a good ending. It really was. Ah. That, yeah, that was genuinely a good episode. My cat wants attention, apparently. She's standing there and meowing at me. I can't give you attention right now, just give me a moment. Come here. Ah. You gonna keep me company? Okay. A genuinely great episode. And a great finale to the series. Episodes 8 and 9 were the low point of the series, most definitely. But later episodes 10, 11, and 12 especially are an embodiment of Sabikui Bisco. What do you want to do now? You don't know. Okay. And I got distracted. Right. It was genuinely a great episode. It was genuinely a great ending. There were some plot holes, don't get me wrong, like the whole thing with Bisco being able to create the parachute mushroom despite saying that he can only create Rust Eater. There was something else there that didn't quite sit well with me, but honestly doesn't matter. Honestly doesn't matter because all in all, it was just a genuinely great episode and very Bisco-like. From the return of Bisco, the way he returned in a completely bullshit way, but at the same time in a very cool way, to the way Kurokawa had a second form, apparently, and the way he went out with just an arrow through his head, through his real head. And all the way to the fact that everybody participated. That's also a very interesting thing. The final battle wasn't just the battle of Milo and Bisco. Tyrol found out about the weak spot. Pau destroyed the mask. Jabi and Akutagawa helped Pau get where they need to go. Bisco shot the arrow. Milo served as his eyes. Everybody took part in it. And that's really cool. That's really cool. You very often see the final battle being essentially the main protagonist against the main antagonist. Perhaps the protagonist has one of their closest friends or a romantic interest by their side, but usually not more people than that. In here, it's essentially the entire cast that helped the final battle be a success. What else? What else? What else? What else? Huh. Right. One thing that is very interesting about this episode to me, and this episode as an ending of a series, is that it doesn't really leave much sequel bait. It doesn't sequel bait at all, essentially. You often you oftentimes when there is an anime based on some light novel or manga or whatever, the ending of the season is very sequel baiting. There's always either some new threat is awakened in the post-credits scene, or some matters are left unresolved, or someone suddenly gets an evil look, or someone smirks or something, and the series ends, and hey, help us convince people that it needs a second season, or hey, go read the manga if you want to know what happens next. It's not the case with Sabikui Bisco. It's very interesting. Every single thread actually that we started with was closed. Right? Pau is now cured. Jabi is also now cured, and those were our two main drives for the journey of Bisco and Milo. And those threads were closed in this episode. Both Pau and Jabi are now cured. The whole thing with Kurokawa, that was yet another thread that was closed in this episode because Kurokawa is now permanently dead. The thing with the search for Rust Eater. We have Rust Eater now. We have an unlimited supply of Rust Eater. Another one closed. the mysterious evil mushroom keeper. It was Kurokawa, so now again another thing closed. There's very little left open. Probably the only plot line, the only thread that is left unsolved is the general persecution of mushroom keepers in Japan by the Japanese government overall. That's that's the only thing that's left. So I guess you could play off of it and make the rest of the series about uh, Bisco and Milo traveling the world from district to district and helping people and bringing more and more cities to their side, stopping the persecution of mushroom keepers and curing people and dealing with corrupted governments and whatnot. Something like that. Um, I guess there's a thread of Bisco wanting to regain his humanity, but one, I'm not sure if it's possible. Two, I'm not sure it's a good thing for him to do, right? Not only from a character standpoint, but from a narrative standpoint. If he goes back to being just a regular mushroom keeper, well, then we really reset everything to status quo, and now they're just traveling the world randomly and they're helping people randomly, and it, as if nothing ever changed. That'll be kind of odd. I hope it didn't happen in the source material, so you guys let me know if it did happen in the source material, if it did not happen. And how is the source material even progressing from now? You don't have to go into heavy spoilers if you don't want to, but I'm at least curious. Hmm. As far as the series itself is concerned, the series as a whole, it's great. It's genuinely great. Barring episodes 8 and 9, where every single character was sharing a single brain cell between them, everything else is just great. The storytelling, again, except episodes 8 and 9, the storytelling is great. The characters are amazing. Everybody feels very real in a battle shonen kind of way, but still very real. The character designs are just amazing. I love Pau, I love Jabi, probably most of them all. Uh, Both design wise and character wise and voice acting wise. Voice acting was really stellar in this show. That's yet another thing that definitely bears mention. Kurokawa's voice is just honey to my ears. Jabi, you can tell that Jabi was having a lot of fun with his role. You can see that Bisco's voice actor was having a lot of fun. Everybody's voice was matching perfectly. Everybody's voice work was just top tier. Animation was, for the most part, actually great. There were a lot of details that didn't have to be included, and yet were, and made all those moments of animation, all those action moments, just a little bit punchier, just a little bit more convincing. And that was just great. That was just amazing. I'm gonna keep repeating the word great and amazing as many times as it takes. The art. Again, I love the art. I love the sketchy feeling of it, I guess you could say. Uh, it's not it's not clean, uh, almost vector artwork. It has a very like pencil on paper kind of feel to it. Also, the art style of the characters. There's plenty of lines on them. Bisco's nose is probably one of the most prominent features here that bear mention. Usually, anime characters don't really have noses. Maybe there's a little bit of a shadow or something. Bisco's nose is extremely pronounced. All the damage and wear and tear is also drawn. There are like black lines, almost cross-hatched. I really, really do enjoy the art style, and one word that comes to mind when it comes to art style of this show is rusted. In the meaning where that rust is very, coarse and fairly uneven, kinda, you could say, and I'm getting the exact same feeling from the art style here. It's not your everyday clean Moe Blob show that looks almost like vector art. It really has this hand drawn imperfect vibe to it, and at the same time an immense amount of detail. Another thing regarding the art style is the use of textures. I'm usually not a huge fan of textures being used for like walls or ground or what have you, but it really did work well in Sabikui Bisco, perhaps because the entire world is very grungy and very textured. So those textures don't stand out the way they stand out in, let's say, Arifureta, when a monster is textured but everything around it is not. Here, if everything is textured, then textured bits don't stand out. The CG work was, for the most part, actually great. I mentioned it many times during the series, during the discussion sections, what makes CG art look good when put together with 2D art, right? That there's only like two, at most three colors, there are no gradients, no nothing like that. Sabikui Bisco really did follow those principles. And in the end, in particular, Pau's bike really looks good, despite being CG. Akutagawa, you can easily tell it's CG, but it still looks decent. Not, nothing crazy, but looks decent. Also helps that there wasn't all that much CG in the show to begin with. Notice how, like, the escargot fighter wasn't CG, the Ganesha cannon wasn't CG, the Tetsujin. I don't think that the Tetsujin was CG. In some scenes, sure, like the scene at the end where there was rust dripping off of it, the underlying skeleton was most certainly CG. But for the most part, when it was just walking around and fighting, it was drawn. It was 2D, and I like it. They use CG only for things that would be way too hard to do in 2D, to do manually, right? Like Poe's bike, for example. It also helps that it's mechanical, and CG animation lends itself well to mechanical things. It doesn't lend itself well to organic movement. That's why Akutagawa looks fairly off, but still serviceable, don't get me wrong. The music. The music in this show is just amazing. From the OP to the ED to the music during the show itself. Uh, there was a little bit of track fatigue by the end because they essentially had just one single track that would play during every hype sequence. And don't get me wrong, it's a great track and it really is giving me some Cell Dweller vibes. But when you use it too much, it eventually does get kind of stale. It really could benefit from a little bit of a wider selection of BGM tracks. At least maybe one or two tracks more so they can use them interchangeably. But yeah, the track itself was amazing, and I'm gonna have to look it up, and I will just be listening to it because it's genuinely a great track. The OP, the opening, was a treat, both musically and animation wise and art wise. Just a great sequence. You can see that the animators were making it, were actually having fun with the medium, and were having fun with the world, right? Flying whales, no problem. We can do that. There probably exist flying whales in the world. Flying fish, sure, let's go for it. Giant crabs, hell yeah, let's do it. And it's just great. It was just great. Um, World building is probably the most prominent great thing about this series. The world they managed to create is very, how should I say it, very lived in and very believable. There is a lot of mystery to it, but you don't get the feeling that it's some bullshit mystery that will never be solved. You get the feeling that it's actually a mystery that might see a solution one day, right? Like the Tetsujin. The Tetsujin weren't just left there in the background, they became an important part of the finale of the series. What are they? Why were they created? How do they even work? We don't know that. We don't know that yet, but I'm 100% certain that there exists an explanation to that. And that's important. What is the rust? What's the goal of it? What's the purpose? Who created it? Where did it come from? We don't know. But again, I have full trust that there is actually an answer to that. I have full trust that the author of the series has it somewhere in his notebook. What is Rust? What are Tetsujin? How they were created? And all those notes are just waiting for the appropriate moment to be revealed. Hmm. All in all, a genuinely amazing series. A genuinely amazing series marred by episodes 8 and 9, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Uh, I'm still scratching my head what happened in episodes 8 and 9. Why why the sudden, you know, dumbness of the main characters. I still have a feeling that uh, maybe the author wanted to end it there. No, no. The author probably wanted to make the whole Tetsujin versus revived Bisco kind of thing, but didn't know quite how to get there, so they just threw together whatever bullshit that would justify Kurakawa turning into a Tetsujin and Bisco dying. Because after that happened, the show was fully back to form. Episodes 10, 11, and 12 are exactly why I loved Sabikui Bisco. Perhaps it's, again, adaptation woes, but. Oh, sorry. But I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. Do episodes 8 and 9 make this series less enjoyable? Yes. Are they worth soldiering through to get to the last 3 episodes? Also, yes. If you're for some reason watching just this section, just the overview of the series, before watching the entire show, uh, first of all, you probably get spoiled already by many things. But yeah, soldier through episodes 8 and 9. It's worth it for episodes 10, 11, and 12, definitely. If you're gonna be recommending someone this show and they get back to you saying that episodes 8 and 9 were absolute bullshit and they're dropping the series, try to persuade them to not drop it. Tell them that episode 10 is genuinely better, is genuinely back to form, and it only gets better from there. Hmm. I think that's gonna be it. I think that's gonna be it. This is definitely one of the better series of the season that I've seen. Although, let's be honest here, there aren't too many contenders. This season of anime certainly wasn't the last season. The last season, there was Tsukito Laika to Nosferatu, there was Tact of Destiny, Saihata no Paladin. All of those were genuinely great series. In this season, Tokyo 24 is kinda middling, Arifureta is kinda middling, those Frontline are kinda middling. So Sabikui Bisco is probably the best of the bunch, not counting, of course, Symphogear since it's not a seasonal show. Will it be my favorite anime of all time? If episodes 8 and 9 were better, yes. Up until that point, I was extremely hyped about this show. After seeing episodes 8 and 9, it will be hard to rewatch, but it will certainly be an anime that I will be recommending to people because despite its flaws, it makes up for them and is genuinely a good watch worth recommending. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So, you guys, you tell me in the comments, what did you think of this series? What did you think of this episode? And what did you think of my reaction? Did you enjoy my reaction? Did you enjoy the episode? Or did maybe episodes 8 and 9 utterly, destroy the series to you and you can't enjoy it anymore? Tell me about it. Did parts of it, parts that I had issues with, were they different in the source material? If you're familiar with the source material, do let me know. I'm genuinely curious. I'm hoping for a second season, but I'm not holding my hopes up. So if you have some minor spoilers for the future events, I guess feel free to share them. If you want to hide those spoilers, you can join my Discord server, link in the description. There's a Sabikui Bisco channel where you can put spoiler tags and just keep spoilers, and I won't read them, I won't spoil myself. What else? Like this video if you liked it, of course, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases. It's gonna be... what do we have left? Tokyo 24 Cool and Arifureta are the two shows left. We are done with Girls Frontline. We are now done with Sabikui Bisco. Of course, Symphogear is still coming out. Episode 1 of Symphogear G is already on my Patreon, so if you're interested in that, head over there and you'll be able to watch it. Also, episode 13 of the first season of Symphogear, the finale, is on my Patreon as well, so you can watch the finale of season 1 and the first episode of season 2 right one after the other. Again, you can support me on Patreon even if you don't want access to non-seasonal shows, because even just a single dollar gives you access to a special channel on my Discord server and an orange roll, and that's it. That's all that it gives you, essentially. But hey, maybe you want to throw me a dollar, maybe you like what I'm doing, I don't know. Share this video with people who you know would enjoy it, because the more you guys spread the word about my videos, the more YouTube itself promotes them, and what better promotion is there to get than being in recommended videos under other people's videos and taking their viewers for myself. Ha! Join my Discord server, I already mentioned it, it's open to everybody, link in the description. Anything else? No, that's gonna be it. Yeah, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers! And this is yet another thing you get as a Patreon. You get to be in the credits of my videos.